Hey folks, Rob Daniels here from the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on Mix 98.5. And if you miss the show, which, hey, does happen, you can also find me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. Well, today we've got a very special video. This is a little bit before week 52, so that's coming this Sunday. But I wanted to throw this in because I went to a fantastic show last night. It was Bear McCreary Themes and Variations Tour, and it was a fantastic show, wonderful show at the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto. And so, yeah, got Gimli here, and he didn't go to the show, but he wishes he did, don't you? Yeah, you do. In any case, no, it would have been too loud for you. Anyway, yeah, I went to this show last night, and it was a fantastic show. But before I do this whole thing, I had a chance to speak to Bear McCreary before the show, a little bit afterwards, but I'm going to play something from my very first interview with Bear back in 2005. And he makes reference to something that I find very interesting, which turns out, I'm wondering if he's referencing this in particular, or at least the starting stages of it. It's about 4 minutes, so I'll be back in just a sec.
All right. Well, now, how would a score you write today differ from one you say you wrote at the beginning of your career?
Very much. Very much. I mean, the beginning of my career, I really consider, I really think about the little black and white shorts that I scored at USC. Mm-hmm. Almost all of those people I've worked with since, and I continue to work with. But, I mean, it would differ in a couple of ways. I mean, I won't even bother to bore you with the technical reasons that it will be superior just in the way that I produce music compared to as I did a long time ago. But the thing that I'm still trying to do, and I think I've been doing, is just trying to figure out new ways to use music to tell a story. And I think that the more projects you do, the more tricks you figure out, the more movies you watch. If you're watching for it, you see what other people have done, and that's one of the things that I got from the many years that I worked with and knew Elmer Bernstein was just he really taught me how to, at least, I mean, just gave me a glimpse of how he will look at a film and realize that there's so many different layers upon which you can score it. You can score the very surface thing that's happening, but then if you look, there's an undercurrent of dramatic importance underneath that, and there's one underneath that, and the music in very subtle ways, you can comment on all these different things happening. And so I've been trying to to really kind of follow in that model and not go for the obvious musical sting, but really look at what's going on and trying to when you have the opportunity to do it, to try to comment on something deeper that's happening. And hopefully you look at some of my early work, and I certainly hope there's some improvement in that arena, and I certainly hope there will be some in the future. But scoring 13 episodes of a really dramatic series gives you so many opportunities to try things out. I mean, it's just been an incredible growing experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you started work on the next season?
No, I haven't yet. So I'm enjoying the time, the little bit of time I'm getting. They roll cameras in about a month, maybe 3 weeks, and so I'll probably start maybe a month after that.
Okay. So, other than the Battlestar Galactica series, is there anything else on your plate right now?
Well, I've been working on, I'm not going to say too much about it, but I've been working on a project of my own. I've been working on a musical that was actually near its completed stage when Battlestar first started. And so then I kind of put it down and did Battlestar, and I'm coming back to it this month and next month. I've been working on it. That is very different than Battlestar, but very rewarding, and hopefully we'll do an interview about it in a few years.
That'd be great. So how do you relax?
Boy, that is a trick question. How do I relax? Unfortunately, the best way I relax is by saving up all my relaxed time until the season's over. I try to when the season's really going, I try to give myself one movie a month that I go see. I used to go, I normally like to see everything that comes out that looks really good, but I don't have time when this season's going. So I usually will, I'll see all the trailers for a given month, and I'll pick the one movie that I'll just force myself to make time to see, and go out and check that out. And I do have a lot of really good friends that understand that if they don't hear from me for 3 months at a time, it doesn't mean I don't like them. You got to make a little time. You got to make a little time to do that. I do my best.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the time you've given me today.
Of course.
I'm really looking forward to the second season of Galactica and the release of that La La Land CD.
Great.
And
me too.
So yeah, I just hope your career continues on the fantastic path it's been going.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
So I'm wondering if he was referencing The Singularity at that time. Talking about a musical, you never know. So there you go. I had the great opportunity to go down to Toronto, had a chance to interview Bear beforehand. I'm going to play a little bit of that interview as well, but I also want to talk about the show. So why don't I just do this? I'll play this interview, and I'll come back and I'll talk some more and tell you all about it back in a bit. Bear, right. It's fantastic to finally have you face to face here in Toronto. Now, you were in Montreal last night.
Yes.
And apparently they brought the house down. How is it that you're now not even a number of hours away from doing another show? It must be exhausting.
It's funny. It's being on tour is exhausting, and yet the energy you get from being in front of a crowd is so rejuvenating. It's like this constant roller coaster, So no, it's definitely not exhausting. I'm feeling really good, feeling really energized, and I'm adjusting to life on the tour bus, and finally reaching that point when when the bus starts to pull out at like 3 a.m. and it starts to rock. I'm like a baby, just being rocked to sleep. So I'm really getting used to it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Now, you're, of course, known for a number of different soundtracks, like Battlestar Galactica, Outlander, but you're also going to be presenting in this show The Singularity. But I'm going to ask you about, you've so many soundtracks, so much music.
Yeah. How
do you bring it down to like a 2.5 hour show?
It was a huge challenge. If anything, I wrote this rock record, The Singularity, because I wanted to create a live show. That really was the beginning of it. And then I ended up making a record, making a graphic novel, a series of singles, and forming relationships with people like Slash and Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and Rufus Wainwright, Joe Satriani. So it really became this thing in my life that was much bigger than what I thought it would be. And then when it was time to start performing it live, I started realizing there's other pieces from my scoring career that either were written in a rock idiom, such as All Along the Watchtower for Battlestar Galactica, or so adjacent to it that I could probably pull it over. And so really that was the filter, the lens through which I looked at my whole catalog. There are some lovely pieces that I've written over the years that just, wouldn't translate well. And I have experience with trying to make them translate well. And so I just thought, well, why don't I just do the things that'll blend into this environment? So ultimately it's, the test was, is it emotional? Is it epic? Is it memorable? Is there something in it that would tie it all together with this show? And I'm really not concerned with it being like a 20-year recap of my career. Okay. In fact, my run in Europe was more representative. I had some deeper cuts from some indie films and weirder movies that I've done. And ultimately, I pulled a couple of those things out of the set because I thought, as fun as these are, I think people want to hear a little more Battlestar, a little more God of War, a little more Lord of the Rings. No one's going to complain if I put one more of each of those in the set, right? So it's like the whole time I'm learning. The audiences are helping me make that decision in active real time.
Right. So now, of course, with all of the various music that you've got, you're talking about different instrumentations as well. I mean, I know with Battlestar, there's the taiko drum and that sort of thing. Are we going to be seeing that in the show?
Yeah. I bought a taiko drum. That was one of those things I learned in Europe. I'm doing a song called Prelude to War, which has this drum breakdown. Doom, 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 doom. And I was looking back at Gene Hoglan, my world famous drummer, getting to play that part, and I was like, I want to play that part. I bought a taiko drum for it, man, and I bring it out, and it's so much fun. But also, I want people to see and experience these slices of what these scores were. Paul Cartwright on electric violin allows me to play some music from Outlander, from Lord of the Rings, from Walking Dead, and bring this either an orchestral violin sound or a distorted electric violin sound or that Celtic fiddle sound. Mm-hmm. He's able to do it all. My brother as well, so diverse in the songs that he can sing. And
so Brandon's here.
Brendan is here, yes. My brother, Brendan McCreary, is the lead singer of the band. And he'll sing songs that other people sang. He sings Blood Upon the Snow. That was a song I did with Hosier. He sings Incinerator, a song I did with Serge Tankian. He was the original voice who sang on All Along the Watchtower. And it makes me happy knowing that like that voice that millions of people heard nearly 20 years ago now, he's here on stage with us singing All Along the Watchtower. So everybody is able to do all these different things. And in terms of the instrumentation, myself personally, I play taiko drum, I play electric guitar, I play electric hurdy-gurdy, I play accordion, I play keyboards, and I sing. So just, you know what I mean? Just like in me alone, you get all these different colors. So we're a pretty diverse group in terms of the colors we're able to bring to the stage.
No, fantastic. The Singularity. You put so much work into this. Is there going to be a specific section for the Singularity?
No. No, I'm trying to create an integrated experience. So it's like if you take a deck of cards and you shuffle it. Because I found that the Singularity itself is so cinematic. Broadly, we're gonna open with Incinerator. We end with The End of Tomorrow and Tears to the Dead Life, and we get a few other examples. But along the way, we take detours. Battlestar Galactica. We pair there's a sort of a folk rock song called Midnight Sun right in the middle of the record, and it's like that, almost like a fine wine that pairs with Black Sails, with Blood Upon the Snow, with the Kratos and Atreus themes from God of War. So I sort of use the record as a spine to be able to go on all these detours and bring in the music of Lord of the Rings and Walking Dead and other stuff like that. So I very much fought the idea of sections. I want to create a singular experience that includes the singularity.
Right. Okay, so now, like I said, you did Montreal last night. You're doing Toronto tonight. Where are you off to next?
We are going to end the North American run after Toronto in Chicago.
So this is the second last show.
This is the second to last show, and then we will wrap up the tour in July in Australia.
Awesome. All right. Well, I really appreciate this, Bear. This is 15 years in the making.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing, man. I've always enjoyed our interviews, and you were one of the first people to interview me, in the early days of Battlestar. So I appreciate you being a champion, not only for me, but I just feel for film music in general. It is something everybody loves, but most people are not wired to think about why they love a scene in a movie, or the music is something that is meant to be absorbed subconsciously. But I, like you, are one of those people I think wired to hear it and want to know who did it and how did they do it, and I just loved the thing that you do. I think is something that allows people that maybe wouldn't connect with film music to discover what you and I already love so much about it.
Fantastic. Now, just one additional question that I want to ask. Recently, I saw a in concert Naturo in concert, and I also saw Austin Wintory's Journey, the Journey Symphonies in concert. So to see you bring this in, it for me, it brings soundtrack music to an audience that may not necessarily understand or get it, and I really appreciate that. And it's and I'm been really happy to speak to you today.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And Austin and I are really tight, and he's always inspired me, and yet the primary difference between those shows and my show, it's like I couldn't pick one thing. Fans have asked me, they're like, "Oh, you ever going to do the Battlestar Galactica concerts again?" And I really had to be honest and look them in the eye and say, "You are at the event that is the closest I'll probably ever get to that. Not because I don't love Battlestar music, but it's like, what would I say to all the Outlander fans? What would I say to the Lord of the Rings fans and the God of War fans? Like and just personally, I love being able to do all these different things. So, maybe it's like, just me being unable to focus on one thing. But I also do love those kind of score concerts that are very specific to a particular fandom. But the fact that mine is so open-ended, it's a fun experience. You can even hear in the crowds, like, oh, here, playing something from God of War, and it's like you can hear specifically like people cheering so quickly, like, you're over there, you're here for God of War, you're here for God of War, and then it's like, oh, we're going into the skyboat, and then it's like, oh, that section over there, they're the Outlander fans. So it's fun, and I do feel like people are open-minded and embracing all of the music that I'm bringing, even though it's like I can tell most people are here because they love one or two things that I've done, So I'm trying to make an experience that includes those things and also is an invitation to let your hair down and have fun.
Well, have a great show tonight, and thank you very much for giving me the time today.
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
I really appreciate it.
So yeah, it was a fantastic show. I am so glad that I got a chance to go down and talk to Bear, see him. It's been 20, I said 15 years, but it's more like 20. We've known each other for 20 years and we've never met face to face. Very similar to what happened with Austin Wintry. So this was I think this could potentially be a once in a lifetime thing. So I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to do it. The show was fantastic and I'm really glad that I got a chance to go. So as of tonight, he's ending his North American tour in Chicago, but picking it up again in July in Australia. So for you Australians, get out there, watch this show, support it. It's fantastic. So, a couple of things I want to talk about just before we go, right, Gimli? Yeah, good boy. So yeah, a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, again, fantastic to interview Bear after, like I said 15 years, but it's more like 20. And I'm so glad that I got this opportunity. But after the show, it's funny. My mind was still ringing from the show. It was raining outside, not hard rain, but enough to make driving home interesting. The hour and a half journey back to Kitchener was on my mind and that sort of thing. And I did have yes, I did an end of show, like got a little meet and greet after the show, and Tamara and I are the first ones back there, and he asks me, what part of the show do you like the best? And my mind went blank. And I told him I really liked Black Sails, which I did. I was kind of I've been in a pirate mode for a little while, but that's neither here nor there. But what I wanted to say were two things. One, Prelude to War. One of my favorite tracks of his from the season 2 soundtrack, and Apocalypse, the vocal version from Blood and Chrome. That happened in the near the start of the show, but it was to hear it live. I sat there and I sung those lyrics loud and clear, and to the point where I was trying at points to get a "So Say We All" chant going, and it was hard to do. It was just me, and no one else seemed to pick up on it. No one else seemed to pick up on it. However, one thing, a guy in front of me who I guess had been there for the entire show, or had been there for the entire show. The show's over. The Godzilla has played, and he stands up. We're all standing up because it's just it's that kind of show. Turns around and he says, "So say we all," and shakes my hand. And I said, so say we all, brother. And that to me was a fantastic part of the show. I thought I was ticking people off by yelling, "So say we all," but it turns out that it was appreciated. So that's cool. So with that in mind, Gimli, what do we usually say at this time? Yeah, like that was a little bit weak. Why don't we try again? Do you want to try again? There we go. Like, share, and subscribe. And you're adorable, Gimli. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play on my show, you can listen to the show every week, 12 to 2 a.m. on Mix 98.5. You can also find me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on Blue Sky these days, at visionsinsound.bsky.social. I can also be found on GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices. And I can also be found on many other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. Hey folks, I realize it's a tough time out there, so if you're having trouble, please call 911 for immediate help. You can also dial or text, at least in Canada, 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline, 1-844-HERE-247 or HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. Well, join me in a couple of days for week 52. Yes, we have reached the end of this journey, but not the completion of the journey. I'll leave it at that. And I want to say an extra special thank you to Bear McCreary and his crew, especially Frankie, and many of the other people who were involved with the show. I was absolutely blown away by the show. It was fantastic. And if I know I said it was a once in a lifetime thing, hopefully I'll get a chance to see it again, or a chance to see him again in concert. It was wonderful. So with that in mind, I'll simply say this. Thank you, and thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
It's the end of an era. It's the end of an old age. And I cannot find my breath at all. In a dream I could fly through the echoes of past lives as I watched each one serve.